Hello, I am Yogini Sunita, and this is Meditation, Yoga, and Stuff podcast. I believe my dharma or my life's purpose is to share my understanding of meditation, yoga, and Ayurveda, holistic healing science of India. I make these amazing wisdoms accessible and adaptable for present times. So let's start. Hello and welcome to our new episode on podcast. Today we're going to talk about little bit about viruses and Ayurveda's understanding of viruses. So viruses has been always been there. This is the way nature works. So we are now trying to understand from Ayurvedic point of view what are viruses. Basically, they can spread through airborne. They could spread to touch. They could spread through air. They could spread through food, water, and these are the way they can enter into our system. Now, Ayurveda look at viruses as try to understand how we are going to address this from the body, mind, and also our optimal health point of view. So in Ayurveda, the prevention is the key. And Ayurveda is a healing science of India. Even though it is ancient science, it is still very much accessible and adaptable to our modern time. The reason Ayurveda came into play was when humans started settling into cities at that time. The sages or wise beings realized that we need some discipline. We need some discipline to maintain our optimal health. And so they realized that we need some daily routines. We need to notice, we need to tune into our surroundings more. We need to tune into the nature cycle. There's a lot of wisdom in Ayurveda. It is an amazing science which can take whole life to learn. So we're going to now try and understand the Ayurveda's approach towards viruses. So Ayurveda focuses on prevention than the cure more. Cure comes, yes, of course, but first we focus on prevention. Prevention is the key. So how can we prevent to fall sick from viruses is to build our immunity. And how do we build our immunity? In Ayurveda, our gut health is extremely important. And also Ayurveda gives a lot of importance on cleansing practices. So Ayurveda's morning routine is absolutely fantastic. So, or daily routine, I should say, not just morning. So let's look at from the point of view of our gut health. So Ayurveda look at it that if we have any digestion issues, that means it creates ama in our system. Ama, there is no direct translation. So we can call it toxic morbid waste of our digestive system. And what happens with this product, ama, it kind of like, according to Ayurveda, it moves in our body till it finds a weak spot. And when it finds a weak spot, it makes home there. So if you, and during season change, we have to be very careful because a lot of airborne diseases or a lot of like sniffly nose or cough or cold or flus in the air at that time. So Ayurveda also take consideration, consider the weather change, also consider how we need to adapt to the weather change, what food we should have. So in Ayurveda, we consume food which is in the season. And according to Ayurveda, the reason for that is because the nature produces these foods to help our immunity. So being mindful of that is very important. So local produced food is also really good for the local economy. So Ayurveda also considered that because it's a bigger picture. It's not just the you consume your food and it's isolated thing. No, it's a bigger picture. Now we look at also where the food is coming from, the quality of the food, who prepared the food, what was their mental state. So there are a lot of things Ayurveda look into. If someone is preparing your food and if they're upset, it's the vibration of their thoughts is going to change the quality of your food. So that in Ayurveda we believe that. And so what if when you are, or someone who is preparing your food, maybe they're chanting mantra, or maybe they're very happy when they're preparing they're doing it because they love you, or they really care for you. So that food quality is going to be absolutely different. Now okay, we understand that, and it's not every day possible to have that kind of food, but as much as possible, if we have that, then that is going to give a lot of positive vibrations in our system. Now, when we look at our Ayurvedic constitution, or Ayurveda believes that every individual is a unique fingerprint of the divine. And because of that, our digestive system is going to be very unique as well. So when we tune into that, our digestive system, you know yourself the best. So tuning into what makes your system sing in a way, what makes your system feel better, what foods makes you feel uplifted, and what food makes you lethargic, what food makes you really heavy and it feels like it's sitting in your tummy for ages. Now this all understanding, and now even you can hear a lot of information about microbiomes and how our gut is our second brain and things like that. Ayurveda has been saying that, not in the same language, but saying the same thing, that our gut health is absolutely important. And that's why Ayurvedic practitioner, if you go to Ayurvedic consultation, first thing they're going to ask is, how is your bowel movement? This question sounds very weird, but the reason for that is it is going to give them so much information. Like, do you go every day? What time of the day you go? What's happening in your diet? It is going to give them all understanding of the digestive fire, or Agni as we call it in yoga, in Ayurveda. And also from your point of view of our healthy mind. So when the body is healthy, when the gut is functioning well, our mind also functions very well. So you'll find that when the bowel movements are happening regularly, when you start noticing that you are digesting your food amazingly, the digestion plays a really key part into our whole makeup of our system, not just our physical, but also our mental, emotional state. And this relationship is always very important in Ayurveda. And now when we have like a season change, when the airborne diseases are floating, what we can do is also make sure that our diet is complementary at that time, and also do the cleansing practices. So Ayurveda has a lot of cleansing practices, from a nasal cleanse to tongue cleanse to eye cleanse. These are actually done regularly, and it doesn't take much time to do these practices. And you can also add on maybe a kind of like a gut biome cleanse practice, or you can focus on maybe for a week doing completely vegetarian diet, and tuning into like how to increase flora fauna of your gut. If you do that during the season change, you will notice that your immunity kind of like also gets a boost. So focusing on doing maybe soup cleanse, or focusing on doing vegetarian diet for a week, focusing on bringing as many cooked vegetable as possible. In Ayurveda, cooked vegetables are very important, because in Ayurveda it is believed that we are not designed, our gut system is not designed to eat raw food. Again, this is Ayurveda's way of looking at the food. Ayurveda also look at understanding that uh, morning you take your breakfast should be like a prince or princess, your lunch should be like a king or queen, and your dinner should be like a pompa or person. So dinner should be very light, very almost like soups, or khichdi is one of the Ayurveda's go-to thing. But again, you don't have to have that. You choose what feels light food for you and have that, and give our gut rest at night, like have your dinner early, so that the whole night your gut system is going to get a rest, digestive system is going to get rest, and that is going to again help to maintain optimal health of your system. Now, when we looking at the viruses, Ayurveda look at viruses, okay, viruses are there, and now how we're going to approach them? Are we going to accept them? Again, it is, Ayurveda is all about a relationship. So how we're going to acknowledge them or accept them, because they are here in the air at the moment. So you can do your cleansing practices, you can focus on your immunity building, and even then, sometimes we fall prey to these viruses. In that sense, then we start looking from Ayurveda point of view is what is happening. How can we then look after our inner, how to build our inner strength to fight this virus, how to give our body that strength. And so then comes the herbs. So first, prevention is the key. And once you do the daily rituals, cleansing practices, and if you fall prey, then there are herbs which will help you. So Ayurveda you looks at the herbs almost like a last resort. When you fall prey for the viruses, okay, how I'm going to take this. And your kitchen is your biggest lab. You can say that there are so many things available in the kitchen. For example, ginger, lime, you can have these things daily into your life. You can have, again, that will depend on your constitution, but things like cumin are amazing for digestion. Fennel seeds are beautiful. Ginger, garlic are amazing. And you don't have to swallow that in big amount. Just a little bit complementing in your food can do the trick. Turmeric is amazing. Turmeric is just such a beautiful herb, or we can say spice. It's so good for your system that in all Indian cooking, from north to south, west to east, you will find that turmeric is almost like a queen's place in the cooking. So eating turmeric, cumin, ginger, garlic, these things are really good. And the leafy vegetables, I mean, unbeatable benefit from leafy vegetables. And I will also tune into how to bring these into daily routine in our life, how to bring it into daily life. Also look at the tastes. Ayurveda acknowledges 6 tastes, and not necessarily we bring all 6 tastes in our every meal, but throughout the day, making sure that you have those 6 tastes. When we bring all these tastes into our daily life, then it reduces the craving, it reduces unnecessary need for body, because body is just craving for maybe one of these tastes which we are missing in our life. In modern life, we mainly have sweet and salty tastes. So consciously tuning into that, what kind of sweet taste you are having in your system. According to Ayurveda, the white sugars are very, we're not built to digest that. Then tuning into like what natural sugars we can have, and then tuning into also, are we eating too salty food, and reducing, maybe adjusting that, and making sure that you bring other 6 tastes in your life as well. And all these things when we start noticing, when we start observing, when we start connecting with our food, it really brings so much kind of like brings so much gut health or optimal health in our system. So what is connecting with the food? A lot of time in modern world, we are looking at screen and eating food, or maybe doing something like two things together, or you're sitting in the office having your lunch at your desk. There is nothing wrong in it, but making sure that you're focusing. Nothing wrong in having food at your desk if you need to, but what I'm saying is that when we are having this food, maybe close your screens, maybe connect with the food, really look at the food, see what is going in your system. When we connect with the food, that almost like a meditative quality, if we can bring into our daily eating habits, that's going to give us benefit of really having amazing digestive system. So connecting with your food, noticing what you're putting in your body, noticing the quality of your food, noticing the nourishment your food is bringing. It can be really beautiful meditation practice. And when you start doing meditation with your food every day, you start noticing that we don't really need that much food. We can satisfy our system very quickly with less food. So all these as tips and tricks from Ayurveda. I hope that it gave you something to take home and bring in your life. These are very practical tips. Tune into your daily routines. Make sure you have all the cleansing habits, especially season change. Ayurveda has neti, nasal cleansing, tongue cleansing is really good to get rid of the ama in your mouth. You can buy the tongue cleaning, the tongue cleaners in the market, or you can use silver spoon to do that. Eyes, you can wash your eyes every morning. And if you do this before you have your food, you are all cleansed from when you put food in your mouth, the ama doesn't go back in your mouth. It is already out of your system. And if you every morning, if you have bowel movement, that is also going to help your digestion better. So focusing on what is blocking the regular digestion, and also how to keep yourself really be vigilant during the season change. How can we focus on optimal health during the season change, and tuning into what practices you need to bring. And I hope this helped you today. Thank you very much for joining this podcast, and make sure you subscribe. Thank you. Thank you for tuning in. I really appreciate that you're taking this time out of your day. Don't forget to subscribe. Take care. Bye for now.